Welcome back to Nice Girls Don't Win. I am your host, Parvati Shallow, joined with my fabulous co-host,
Amy Bean.
Oh my God, y'all. Deal or No Deal Island ended with an explosion of a finale.
God.
I've never seen anything like it.
And what a night. We were invited to the big party that David threw last night, which was so much fun.
It was so fun. I told him he needed to celebrate that moment because it was such a milestone and something that no one could have ever expected. I keep telling him he broke the game.
He clearly broke the game. And you know what? We're going to find out today. We are bringing him here. He's willing to jump on with us.
In studio.
I know.
The winner of Deal or No Deal Island.
Season 2.
Let's be clear.
I can't believe the amount of money he won. So let's get into that. But how was it? She wasn't able to leave the island at all. You were still there.
I was an indentured servant to this game from day one. They would not let me out. They wanted me on
the final
show
challenge was really cool, though.
It was cool because it felt like tribal council. Like the jury kind of experience of final tribal, where the people who were eliminated from the game had a chance to either help or hinder these endgame players. And CK had a tough time.
Dr. Will throwing the wood piece. Did you see that?
For David.
Did you see it when you were out
Yeah,
there? We were in the control room crying. I was like, this is so good.
Well, Philip and I were peeking through the crack in the wood so we could see when CK was down on her knees groveling to say, oh my God. Oof.
I know. That was a long challenge, but honestly, it was so worth it.
It was really cool.
But did you think David was going to win that challenge?
Well, no, because when we were in the hotel, I was only there for one night, and Philip and I had the meeting with the producers, and they're like, we're going to do this challenge, and you guys are going to be back on set for this challenge. You're going to either help or hurt people. And everyone was like, oh, we want Letty to win.
Oh.
So it felt like Ponderosa, like on Survivor, when the people are voted out, they go to Ponderosa, or in Australian Survivor, they call it Jury Villa.
So Lachelle said that, or who said
everybody,
it? Philip?
Everybody was saying they wanted Letty to win except for Dixon and me, obviously, the family. We wanted David to win. So it was wild because I was like, oh boy, this is really interesting. This is what happens with the jury on Survivor. Everyone comes back, they talk. They all at that point had Googled David. They knew that he'd won Australian Survivor, and they were really they were very insistent. They didn't want someone who had been on TV, who had won a game on TV to win again. You heard Philip saying that in my episode. When I went out, Philip was like, oh, she's won $1 million on TV. They should only be able to do that once. And I was like, you guys, he won $500,000 on Australian Survivor. Also, it's Australian dollars. It's not even real money.
Cute here, yeah.
Yeah.
Real money. You're so silly. I love you.
So I was really trying to help him out, but I didn't think I had that much influence because we only got one piece of the challenge, and there were two elements to it: time, and then whoever got the highest case.
But what about Lachelle's strategy in that? She never really said what was what. She let you decide what case to choose, which was really
kind of cool because that's how so many of the challenges on this show were.
It's up to fate.
Yeah, it's luck of the draw, and hopefully you get the right case.
And then what do you think? Because I know Letty was really upset with Philip for not
sabotaging David. But that's not Philip's brand. Philip's brand is he's a good guy. He wants to do the right thing. He wants people to know that he's a good guy, and he's not going to sabotage someone. So I think Letty was off with that read.
God, and then the banker, we found out who the banker is.
I know.
We need to get her here.
She's cute.
She's a doll. She's so hot.
She's funny. She was really funny. She was melting down.
I know.
Everyone was melting down in that temple. It was a spiritual experience.
It was pretty cool.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to David.
I know. Okay, speaking of TV shows, it's crazy because for me, my Deal or No Deal Island has finished, right? Because it's done airing. But the new, the show that I did before that is actually airing tonight on Netflix. It's called $1 Million Secret, and it is so juicy. It is so good. It's literally I was out there, and you know how you know when a show is good when you're out there and the makeup team is like tuning in. You're oh yeah, they want to know what's happening. So I think everyone should tune in tonight. I want to know what you guys think. $1 million secret. Okay, so 12 strangers, they move into this beautiful house, and it's a retreat, like a resort, where there's staff, and the host is kind of like eerie and creepy. And they move in, everyone checks into their rooms, and in one room, somebody has $1 million in the room. In a box. And if you can keep the secret that you have the $1 million, then you can keep the $1 million.
It sounds kind of easy, but I bet there's challenges that would reveal information and make people have to lie and be uncomfortable or put on the spot.
You know.
Okay, I'm
She
gonna,
knows.
because otherwise it's too easy. But also, would you stay if there was a reality show based on this premise and it's like 14 days, you have to live in a haunted house. For real, it's haunted. You have to live in the basement. You win $1 million after 14 days. There's ghosts rolling over on top of you at night.
I do a lot for money. I would not do that. I am freaked. No, thank you.
When I was little, I watched this movie called Arachnophobia, the spider movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl was taking a shower and spiders were coming out of the shower. Yeah. I could not take a shower.
Yeah, no wonder why you're Cambodia snoring. You're like, spider, I can't sleep. I get it. There's your fear.
Oh my God. So I don't know, a haunted house for 14 days, like, no, I don't know that I could.
Alone?
No.
I could never do it alone. Like, maybe if we all had to do it together,
no.
yes.
Well, actually, okay, you know what I would do? I would do it. But first, I would train with witches, like real life witches.
Right.
I would go to their house. I would be like, teach me all your spells. What do I need? Garlic, crosses,
this is your
salt,
Wait.
Blood vials. Like,
wait, what people don't know about you right now is that you are actually a producer now. Like people are Parvati's going to be like a producer on a lot of shows coming up, I feel like.
I'm an EP.
Because you're smart and you're really good at these types of games. Like she just created a game. Like
who wants to play this game? I think it would be cool. Maybe Rob and I can host that. Because Rob and I are looking for a show. We want to create a show. We want to host it together.
Okay.
Wouldn't
Networks,
that be fun?
are you listening? I know you are. Okay.
Haunted House with Rob Mariano and Pav.
Oh my God, you guys are going to get spooked. He's the guy you want to go in the haunted house with. Like, I mean,
he
will
would be
keep
scared,
you safe.
though. I feel like he would be like, ee! You'd hear Rob
let's get out of here.
squeal.
Oh, but this isn't worth it. Okay, well, let's get David here. I'm so excited to talk with him.
Speaking of Rob, David calls himself the Boston Rob, or he has been called the Boston Rob of Survivor Australia.
Oh,
so it's kind of a big deal. He's the biggest deal of Deal or No Deal Island.
The winner of Deal or No Deal Island. He won so much money last night, and he's here with us. He wants to hang out with us
He
today.
wants to spend time jibber-jabbing with us, but he's looking like kind of a different kind of person.
Oh my God.
David, what's happened to you?
Guys, I just want to get this out the way early. The money's not going to change me.
This is a whole new look. That looks a lot like my trader's cape from day one.
Derek, where's my champagne?
Derek, get the winner his champagne.
Where's your assistant? Don't you have a new assistant? I've heard you have an assistant nowadays.
Yeah, well...
I hope you're going to kick Derek some
has
cash.
I'm not going to open that.
You don't use your hands anymore for manual labor?
My hands for manual labor.
It's hot here.
Creepers.
But I see that you've retained the backwards hat, so you still have a little bit of an edge.
Well, I keep it real. I don't forget who I am. It's important that you don't forget. Guys, I'm rich. Oh my gosh, it is so much money.
David, what are you going to buy? What's the first thing you're going to buy? Congrats. Cheers to you.
Congrats.
You've got to put it. I'm not going to.
Let's have some.
Place it to his lips.
Let's have some.
That is not Dom Perignon.
Oh my God. The money
Derek.
has changed you.
No, it hasn't.
David, you used to be a beer drinking Australian. Now look at yourself.
David,
You can't even get your cape off.
I
really
can't get my
quick,
cape off.
he was going to go home night one of Deal or No Deal. Can we just talk
Was
about?
I?
Yes, you were.
No.
You took the
Oh,
risky
yeah.
path. You took the risky path, and you, Luke, and Seychelles were on the bottom, and you could have left. But here you are, winning the entire show.
You're a rich bitch.
$5.8 million.
bitch.
You
It's
said
crazy.
no.
You broke the game.
You said no to $3.8 million.
You
Yeah.
broke it. The odds were
Yeah,
so
you broke
stacked
it.
against you. I wonder if Rob did the odds. Did he do the calculations? Like, beep, bop, boop,
He sure did.
It was like probably negative 0.0 million
Rob
that you were
definitely
going to
was
win
doing
that
that.
I
amount of
sat
money.
next to Rob in the control room, you guys, and I was with you. I was riding the wave. I was like, he's got this. And he's like, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have this. He needs to stop.
Rob does not like it when people don't play the
Yeah.
odds.
He's like, what is he doing? I'm like, no, I feel it. I was feeling the energy. Like, tell us what was going through your brain in that moment, because you weren't really like looking at anything or anybody. It was just like this, like, you were like seeing light.
Transcendent.
Yeah. Well, Rob's a gambler, right? Like, I'm not into gambling at all. Like, that's just not really my thing, which I know sounds crazy after turning down those kind of odds, but I was really feeling it. Like, I was in a different place. Like, there was like some energy flowing through me. I was having a spiritual, transcendent experience. And that, to me, that's got nothing to do with the odds.
I
Like,
will
it was just
say
all
there
feel.
were a lot of moments like that on the island of like spiritual connection to something beyond what we can see. I found a four-leaf clover out there.
What?
In the jungle of
I
Panama.
didn't know that. Where?
Yeah, right before the challenge where we had to jump for the rings.
That you got real lucky that day.
I got so lucky, and I knew it was like a laser beam. I knew which suitcase had the safety in it just by looking at that challenge. So I was having those kind of moments. Well, I didn't have it in my game the way you had it in yours.
No, you're.
So what was that? Because you were also connected to your dad and like who passed.
How woo-woo do we want to get? On
Well,
the
super
podcast?
woo-woo.
Do
We
we want
wanna
to get
go-
super
we wanna
woo-woo
go
on the
for it.
podcast?
Yeah, because I
today?
believe in that. I
Let's
really
do it.
do. The light flashed when Allison was
When
here.
Allison was here
There's
talking
so
about
many
her
cool-
baby, and it was like the light flashed. I think this is important for us to highlight.
Speaking of woo, Dalton Ross is going to have the weirdest interview with me ever, because he was there
Great.
for the final game. And he was like, David, how was that? And I was like, it was amazing. The stars were aligning. Just like, I was like, boo. He's going to be like, ah.
I see you like beautiful mind with the like MC on all the little like list formulas going out of your head. Yeah.
No, I really, I had a lot of weird stuff happening coming into the game as it was. And I'm going to go all the way back to the time I won Survivor. And there was a guy in the game, his name's Tarzan, Mark Hurler, who's very kind of like into the spiritual thing. He's like a Swami now. And he would, at night, would be like sleeping on our bamboo in Australian Survivor. And he'd like wake me up at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and you're barely sleeping there anyway. And I'd be like, dude, what? And he'd be like, boy, the numbers, boy, it's in the 8s. The 8s. 18 and 8.
Oh, like Aladdin and the lamp.
The rain
This
man.
is in 20. This is in 20. Yeah, this is in
happening?
2019, and he did it to me multiple times. And at the time when that was happening, I was like, "What?"
So this was carved into your destiny.
That's what it feels like. I mean, he was saying that in 2019, so that became kind of a, I don't know, maybe it just sat in the back of my head. But there was definitely this thing happening with numbers, where it's like all my kids were born on the 18th, except for my son Hugo, who's 14. Then my dad passes away on the 18th. I had an experience earlier in the year where I thought I was going to quit television, and I went to see my kind of like bodywork specialist in Brooklyn and had this like experience where I spoke to my dad. Like he kind of came to me and was like, don't
Stop.
quit, like keep going.
Wow.
And it was really full on, like super full on. I end up signing to do Dondi. On the island, stuff was happening. There was just like this crazy energy out there. I don't know what you would call it, but like Parv was saying, like we were seeing signs. Like I experienced my dad in so many levels and so many signs on the island. Wow. And before I go to play that final game, I was with Nancy with the Wrangler, who's holding me before.
Nancy. Yes,
So she's holding me before the final game. And I just was like, felt so in touch with my dad. And I
Wait,
was
did
like,
you say Nancy's holding you?
yeah, she's
the
holding me,
game?
stopping me before I go in there, like literally holding me there.
Rocking you like a baby?
Yeah, she's like holding me.
That's cute.
Gonna be okay, Davey. It's gonna be okay.
Oh, it's comforting.
You should very.
Yeah, and
feel
she's just
safe in the
comforting
hands
me. I
of
feel
Nancy.
safe.
Yeah.
I love Nancy, but
too.
I really got this urge that I wanted to look up and see the sky. And I was like, I just felt my dad's presence. Like he's here, he's with me, but I just like, I want like a sign. I want to see something. And I said to Nancy, like, Nancy, I need to see the sky, because where we were waiting, it was like that tree canopy, so you couldn't see anything. And she's like, oh, I don't know, like we're about to start this thing. It's pretty serious. We got to start filming. And I was like, Nancy, I have to see the sky. She takes me to this area where the canopy kind of opens, and I look up and I was like, Dad, are you there? And this star, like shooting star, just goes like, boo.
Yes.
Straight across.
And you took back that number, because I know that number for you was hard when he passed on the 18th. So that's a really cool
And you won
feeling.
the final challenge on the Lionsgate. It was 8, August 8th.
August 8th, which is the Lionsgate.
Yeah.
So 888. There was just
you
like
got
a
the
lot
eight.
of
Yeah.
weird number
He was
stuff
right.
happening.
What's the guy's name? Tarzan. What a
Yeah, did you
Mark
call
Miller,
him?
yeah,
Are you going to split the money with Tarzan?
No.
wait, what is the first thing you're gonna buy? We need to know.
I should do something nice for him, actually.
But
What is the first thing I'm going to buy?
yeah,
Oh, I want to buy a new motorcycle.
yeah.
You don't have enough motorcycles?
How
I
many?
have a couple.
How many motorcycles do you have?
Oh, I have 6 already, but I want another
You better
one.
sell one. Oh
What are
my
you,
god.
are you going to get a bicycle for our little son, Dixon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get Dixon a bicycle. Can he ride with
A 10
training
speed.
wheels? A
Yeah.
10
That
speed.
is so funny. For people that don't know, you guys were like, this family on the island was like the best thing to watch as, producer. I think people like watching it at home. It's polarizing, like the comments and stuff. Like
Oh, yeah.
either people love the
jeez.
family or they hate the family.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, you guys, like what they didn't show, one thing was like, Parvati and you were talking, and you're like, well, Parvati's like, if I win this game, I'm going to buy our son a bicycle. It was so cute. It's like,
He
this
deserves
is
it.
a
He works
bicycle.
hard at Parks and Rec.
He
I know.
does.
Okay, so what's the family such now? Like, is Dixon, was he here last night?
Dixon's here.
Yeah, Dixon's
He's
here.
been staying at my house.
Oh my gosh.
We went bowling with him and MG.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
fun.
the fam all back together.
Yeah.
Some
Cute.
recreational experiences.
I like that.
It was just really fun. Like it was something that I think when you're doing the shows, right? And like I think once you've had experience doing the shows, you know that you need little names for people to pick up on, whether they want to root for you or they want to hate you. You want to give them something that they
But
can.
your accent, I just heard you say whether they want to roofie you. Did you
Whether they want to roofie you. Do people want to roofie me?
They do, I'm sure.
No,
David.
no,
Yes.
no. Okay,
Don't roofie
sorry,
me.
I digress.
Okay.
Don't root for me.
Yes,
root for
exactly.
you.
But that's what makes you rootable. You
You
can't say rootable in Australia because
Are
that means fuck.
rootable, FYI. So this
Thank
morning,
you, Amy.
I was, listen to this. This is crazy. This morning I was helping at my daughter's class, and the teacher was like, "Hey, Blake said that you worked on Deal or No Deal Island. Like, I can't believe it. I'm a big fan of the show." And I was laughing, and I was like, "I'm actually interviewing David today." She goes, "He was my pick to win." She was so
wow.
excited, but she had some questions, and I think it's so important because we know what went down out there, and so I could ask you all the questions, but I know the answers to most of them. So I think like hearing from her this morning, I was like, let me ask David some of these questions and you, Parvati, because this is what people want to know. When you play these games, right? It's like you guys have been playing for so long, but she was like, when David took out Philip after saying that he was gonna keep him safe, was that like hard for him, or was that just part of the game? Because
No, not hard at all.
not hard at all.
I think at a certain point in when you're really playing these games, like I'm not playing for anyone inside the game. I'm playing for people outside the game.
Right.
So that's what you have to keep check of. And I think actually that's
Smart.
what makes you good at the game is if you can separate what is happening in there from real life. And that is really hard to do, really
I know.
tricky.
Yeah,
It
Philip
takes
can't
a
do
lot
it.
of experience to do that. Like I wasn't able to do that my first season playing Survivor. And these are all new people playing with me and David and then Dr. Will, who was there for a brief moment in time.
Just a short.
But
moment.
it's true.
blimp.
You two come into these games, and there's really like I'm not going to say morality goes out the window, but it's really like you got to use anything in your toolbox to win.
Well, that's why I love playing these games because I am not a Black Widow in my day to day. Like
Right.
I'm a mom. I take my daughter to school on time because if I'm a minute late, I'm going to hear from Miss Dotson about it. So I better be on time.
Yeah.
Got her lunch packed. I got the whole thing. She's in pajamas today. It's stuffy day. Bring your,
Remembered,
you
yes.
got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But when I go out and play these games, there is a shadow side that's so fun. It's like you can be mischievous. You can kind of play with your dark side a little bit. You can mess with people in a
Yeah.
way that you can't do at home in real life. You wouldn't really want to do it at home in real life. You want to have like more up and up relationships and, build something
but
lovely
people look
at
at
home.
you as the
it's
real
freaking
Black
fun.
Widow in real life. Like now that I'm
well,
working
that's
with
how
you,
everyone was relating to me out on the island. Was there people relate to me as like a character or a persona that
I
they
know.
think I am from having watched me on these games before. And I'm just not that, but I can drop it. I can really relate to people. Like when I was relating with Philip, when I was talking with Philip, I really do care about him.
Right.
I wasn't fake having emotions when he was telling me that I'd bullied him. I felt really bad about that because I liked him and I cared about him.
Yeah.
But it's true. I could also see it for what it was. I can call it out as that's emotionally manipulative. That's the same thing that you think I'm doing to you, you're doing back to me. People put a lot of projections on me personally, and because of my flirty nature and how I've played these games and how I've won. And I think people do the same to you, but it's harder for people to see that because we're in the US and maybe the cultures are different with Australia and the US, because I think you've been getting a real hero edit from Dante.
This is my first hero edit.
Nobody's mad at you.
Oh yeah, because we are introduced to you for the first time in America, right? I am like, we loved all these shows. Like anybody watching this podcast, like we all like these type of shows, you know? And so seeing you be on there and then you validating that he was a boss player out there.
The golden god.
Yeah.
I'm glad you finally said it. Where was that in the intro?
Welcome. Well,
Who's my fan?
I don't know. I forgot what
Derek.
we were doing on this podcast. Like,
It's getting
who
hot.
are we
It's
talking-
getting
what's
hot
happening?
in here.
David.
I'm crying.
But I think here's where we probably differ a little bit. Like we both get to play. Like I really feel like I'm playing a character out there. Like I was lying to those guys about everything.
But you felt bad about it once when MG went home. You were going to blow up your own spot. I had to talk you off the ledge.
Yeah. Well, you know, but like
What,
that's.
or were
you
you
did
playing
feel
me? Or were you playing me?
Yeah, were you
No,
playing?
I
Did you feel
wasn't.
bad?
No, yeah, I did feel bad when MG went,
Yeah.
but more so because I was like, oh, he's really busted up this alliance. I wanted to like pull that through, but I really feel like I try to play more of a character because that's how I got into this whole mess in the first place. Was the first time I played Australian Survivor, I looked up. I was like, who are the biggest villains in Survivor? Parvati, Boston Rob, Tyson. And I went back, I watched their seasons, and then I kind of came up with this persona that I wanted to play on television. And I was like, I could be the male Parvati. Like, I can do that.
Well, you nailed it.
You did. That's why watching you two together was really crazy because I guess like were you ever really going to take her out? Because I was out there, I know, but this is what the teacher wanted to know.
No.
You were
I wasn't.
never.
I would have taken her all the way. Yeah, I really didn't want Pav to lose. Because I think as well, like, we're both coming from this background of having done a few of these shows now. So to find someone that will go, I will just take you the whole way to the end of the game for a couple of reasons. One, we now both to get to be in every single episode of this show.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, like, I'm wanting to bring her along. I'm wanting that for my television game, for her game. We got along so well. Like, I've never like met someone where I just felt connected straight away, where we were just like on the same page with everything we were doing.
So easy.
That never happens in
Right.
the games, you know? And then like you have to find someone that has your back. And
Yeah.
like I do well in duos. Like I do that in Survivor,
Yeah.
all the shows I've done. Like I do really well in a duo.
Wow, too.
So then to get to play with someone who I've idolized
Wow.
who I've built my television career off of.
Fan me, David.
He's like, okay. He's got all this money and you're getting fanned. I love the dynamic here. But
But
wait.
listen, I don't exist. The Golden God doesn't exist without Parvati. Like I really, I'm serious. That's how connected I felt through this whole thing. And then so to actually meet her and be like, oh my God, like we're gonna do this, like we're playing together, was just a dream come true.
Okay, so from the very beginning, were you ever thinking, okay, Parvati might out me? And if she outed you, because she knew who you were, which obviously when you two meet, you don't know if she's going to know who you are or not, right? You guys didn't even know you were going to be on the show together.
He knew because my jaw dropped when I saw him. And he was like, oh, she knows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, because I was watching his season of Survivor, Australian Survivor, because I was preparing to go play and I'd never seen it before. And I was like, oh my God.
We're just like with our headphones on, like, oh my God, they freaking know each other.
Yeah,
This is
it was
amazing.
good. It was good.
It's fun to
It
see
was
how
good.
it plays out. But were you ever scared? I mean, she's the Black Widow. She could at one point reveal this big secret that you were keeping for so long. But tell us what you think. And like, did you have a plan? What was that plan? If she
I did have a backup plan. It wasn't really for Pav, and I don't want to speak out because I don't know how you feel about it. But I felt like when we first connected on the beach, I was like, she's just got my back. Which is maybe,
felt it.
I don't know how much game you were playing there, but I was like, I feel good. And I thought maybe it's going to come out at some point, but I was going to weaponize that against the person that bought it out and just be like, well, they're the one that's been keeping that secret. Like, of course I'm keeping the secret. Everyone's got a little secret on the island, but this asshole knew and didn't tell you guys.
Right.
So that's how I was going to try to like really weaponize it and put it on the person that was going to bring the secret out, as opposed to having to maybe like, oh, of course I want to keep the secret, you guys. Like, that's what I've been here. That's what they asked me to do. I'm here to keep this secret.
whatever you gotta do.
Here's the one that should have told you like a week ago. You
Put it
know,
on
so
tape
that's
now.
how I was
So
gonna.
crazy too,
Smart.
because if people just look at you, you're clearly a huge threat. Like,
I know. That's why day one, I was like,
can't hide your
I was like,
body.
he could leave right now because, and that's, I was
Tell me
such
more.
I was fearful as the
your shirt
producer
off.
thinking David's going to go home because we've got this awesome story that he's like the golden god of Australia and he could go home right now. Everyone's like, he's a threat. Like Seychelles, like,
Yes.
he's a threat. And Sydney had your back. She was like, no.
Oh, let me talk
Sydney.
about Sydney.
Bless.
Have you heard from Sydney?
No, I sent her a text after
Nice.
the ebb came out just to be like, hey, look, I hope you're okay. And
Yeah.
if you need to talk shit about me in press, feel free to do it. I can handle it. So, because I just didn't know how she was going to deal with all
Yeah.
that stuff afterwards.
Did she write back?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, oh, I can't even remember what she said. She was like, yeah, that's fine. Thanks, David. But she was like,
She
know.
loves
She was just-
She
was just,
You were a fun interview.
It was fun.
You were so fun out there, and it's so. I can't believe you won, but like that secret you held had to have been.
Yeah,
it
was that hard for you?
It was, yeah. Yeah, that's what was stressing me out more than anything. I think just because I wasn't being myself in there. I had like wiped out the last 7 years of my life, my television career, how much money I made. I didn't realize going into Dondi how important not having money was going to be. Like that
Right.
became a real theme where people were
Yeah.
kind of like, I really need
Right.
this.
I'm so
like, you
poor.
can't-
That's what
like,
Letty kept
poverty
saying,
can't
and
win.
people were like,
she's
"Oh, we
already
need
won
to-"
$1 million.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, I need the money too, you guys. Yeah. Oh my God. So then that became this thing, this emotional pull of having to say like, no, I need it. I need the money. And so that, you know, because you see it with CK was pretty blatantly like, I make a lot of money. I'm a poker player. I don't, you know, like, and
Yeah, no one
people
wanted to give it to
kind
her.
of didn't like that. They were like,
CK.
F this
People
CK.
did not like that.
You know, they didn't like it when Will was doing it
You
either.
and
then they didn't
CK
like you.
right.
had some
having one.
serious drama because I was orchestrating my alliance was
I know.
CK on one side, David on the other, because Philip was just like dead to me by that point. But CK I had been working on from the very beginning. We were in the same dome together. She was like, we were super tight. They don't show it on the show for whatever reason, but we were very close. And CK hated David, and David hated CK. So I was like, you guys just get along. I
But
need you to
somehow
like each other.
you did not take CK out when you could have. You took Philip out.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Because I wanted Pav to be protected too. So I just kind of felt like she was in a situation, I don't know how aware of it she was, but like people wanted Pav gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was a constant thread
was
of
aware.
conversation where they were like, she's got to go. She won
Never
$1 million.
safe.
She's
Always
the
safe.
Black Widow. Like every conversation is, we've got to get her out. And CK was really CK was so in your corner.
Yes.
And I was like, let's take out CK. And you're like, I kind of need her. And then eventually I was like, all right, yeah, you kind of need her.
I needed her.
You really
She
did
was
need
important.
her. Until the end. Do you think she would have taken you if I put her up to play the banker?
That's why I was trying to be so mad at her. I was like, if I'm really mad at her, then maybe she won't take me out because she'll want to make it up to me.
I don't
and,
think she
like,
would have taken you out.
reconnect. I don't know if she would have. She told me that she wouldn't. She's like, I would have looked at your blue eyes and I couldn't have done it. Oh God, I wish I would have let you play.
She would have. She was like a loaded gun, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
like,
and she
you
was
just-
like with me. She was pretty with me. But then she was kind of also with Letty.
But
and-
what I like about her is like it's like when you come in these games, you got to do whatever you got to do to win. I
Yeah.
even like
Yeah,
so it's like
she was
I
cool.
appreciate players like that. Like I appreciate anybody that comes in and plays whatever game they want. But as a TV producer, anybody that's going to just make great TV for me is like my
I mean,
dream.
CK
Well,
makes
that's the
great
thing. So that's what we had Carolyn from Traders on the podcast
Yes.
a little while ago, and she was very upset that Danielle had sworn on her grandkids that she
Yeah.
wasn't a trader. The whole Traders cast was upset about that, and I was like, God, if Dolores cornered me in the castle and she's like, I swear on my grandkids, I'd be like, yeah, me too. Like, what would you? Where's the line?
Yeah, where's
in
the
these
line?
games?
I mean, I don't think there's a line. If I wouldn't begrudge someone for saying that at all. Like,
Right?
Right.
Am I going to swear on my kids? And I actually made a point of not doing it. Sometimes if people ask me, they're like, "Oh, would you swear on your kid?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's just not something I do." But I don't think it's like Like, who cares? Are you superstitious? Like, you swear on what?
I
Like,
know, and the thing is, like,
there
these
should be no line.
containers that I had to learn this the first time I played Survivor is this is a container that is not your real life. It's only blurred because it's called reality TV. So people are like, oh, that's real.
Yeah.
You're being yourself out there. I'm like, actually, no, you're improvising. I look at myself as an improv actor out
Yeah.
here in these
Yeah.
games. Like I'm
100%.
improvising
Interesting.
based on who the contestants are around me, what's the environment, what are the challenges, and I need to adapt to fit that situation. I need to be whatever is required to win this game.
Yeah.
And that's how I play. And if it's all right, swear on your kids, okay, fine. Like if it's make a fake family, okay, here we go. Like
Yeah.
I'll
100%.
I blur those lines all day, but then the fans watching the show,
Yeah.
I think that they judge it based on this is real because it's reality TV.
But
And
I guess that's
have
kind of what's
that-
fun for them too, to be able to do that. You know, like I think when you're on the wrong side of it with the fans being like,
But
oh, you
as a
guys shouldn't be
fan,
like
you
carrying
watch
on,
as
but-
if
yeah.
it's you playing. So you're
Yeah.
like, I would never. So I hate that she's doing that. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And so, but I think
Exactly.
what's smart if you're like, I'm never gonna swear on my kids. If you were a traitor, you could swear on your kids because people. I'm just saying.
Don't
I'm
give
just,
away my
I'm
strategy.
sorry. I just know. I'm like,
I
this is
know.
great. There's a way to win the game
100%.
if you need to. You gotta use anything you can. And people hated that you two
Hated it.
worked so good together.
And it's also, because we are like power players and then us just coming together and me not blowing up your secret and you not turning on me. It's like, oh, wait a
And
minute.
protecting
They
each
should.
other. You guys did protect each other throughout the game. You protected Dixon too. You know, you couldn't protect MG, sadly. That's the hard part about this game.
I tried. I warned her. I said, you should play the banker
did.
because Will's going to take you out.
But I think
But
the
she
vet.
didn't.
I think in these shows, vets should look after each other. They shouldn't go after each other. You have to change that culture. Otherwise, no vet is ever getting through
Right.
a show ever again. Like you're seeing it now, right? Like these shows where they have 3 vets come in and there's
Yeah.
9 other newbies. The newbies are going to wipe them every time.
Right.
You see it with Survivor. You see with these other shows where it's going to become impossible. So the vets, if they're not looking after each other, they're going after each other. Like it's stupid. I think like
So
we should all play together.
What is, that you can play traders and you can play with all vets if you want.
Yeah.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Play traders.
Maybe. We'll see.
I'd like to see you and Tyson out there playing together. We need Tyson from Survivor.
Guys, I don't really have to do anything.
Yeah. I'm like,
I just-
what are you going to do with your life?
Wait,
You're gonna
what is
retire
next?
on a beach?
What is next? Like, I mean, you have so much fun playing these games, but are you retired or what's your deal?
No. I mean, I just want to do really interesting television. So from my modeling career, I studied acting. I studied theater. And coming back to you saying I feel like I'm an improv actor, I feel the same way. Like I studied acting and then I ended up doing this. Now I have a really good grasp on social dynamics. And that's kind of what helps me with
Yeah.
these games. But like you're ad-libbing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're on the fly. And I think people can be so judgmental after they watch that, decisions happening in real time. Even with Philip dropping his money, they're like, oh, he should have dropped the money and taken the 75. But like when you're there in that moment and that's happening, it's so easy to watch that back and be like, I would have made the right decision. I would have had revisionist hit. No, it's not. And then you've got the added thing of like people who know what they're doing, putting pressure on you, convincing you to do things. Like you really should do this. It's in your best interest to do this.
But you're a great actor. I feel like,
Producers and
yeah,
Derek
Derek wants to
wants
see
to
you on
know.
Magic Mike with,
With
Joe.
Joe.
I mean, I would like
Wait,
to see
is
that
this
too.
a live
Yeah.
review in Vegas? Derek?
yeah.
Yes, Derek.
I mean, I can shake my hips a little bit.
Let's see. Give us a little wiggle.
Should I have to stand up or just?
Oh, that's good enough for me.
I can see you. I can see you on like a Game of Thrones, a Spartan. I can see you as like a Viking or
Oh,
somebody.
Game
cool.
of Thrones. Let's bring it back. I loved
Yeah,
that
let's go.
show.
Yeah,
Would
I mean,
you
I
be
would,
like
I'd love to do
the mean king,
Yeah, I could do that.
who's in love with his brother, like the incest king?
Yeah, yeah, the king of incest.
You're like the Matthew McConaughey of Australia. I feel like.
Well, you know what's funny is in my casting email, they were like, "We think you're the Boston Rob of Australia," when they were trying to pull me in to do Dondi.
Yeah.
So that's how they kind of.
Well, you've got an accent, so does he.
Yeah.
You play
Oh
the
wait,
big
are you
thing.
guys friends? I know the answer.
Me
but-
and Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Give us a story. Give us a Boston Rob story. We love Boston.
And an
I
accent.
think the funny thing for me with Rob was it became kind of this theme where like they're like, you're the Boston Rob of Australia. And then I obviously feel a bit competitive because I'm so proud of my Survivor game, right? So I always get, I guess, compared to Rob. So then I'm coming in and I'm like, I'm going to do something Rob can't do. I'm going to win Deal or No Deal Island. I think
hard.
even in one of my end things, I was like, Boston Rob ain't got shit on me. It
Oh
was,
my
like I was
God.
really playing into that because they'd be like, what do you think Rob would think of this? Not knowing Rob is watching the monitors,
I know.
doing the after show. And then I walk in like, oh, hey, Rob. And he's like, I've been watching. I was like, oh, dear.
Oh, yeah.
Were you scared? Did you feel nervous when you first met Rob and sat down to talk to him?
No. But again, it's like, it was such a weird moment of like the first time I met you. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a fan. But now we have to play. We have to play. And same with Rob. I'm like, like how full circle is that for me having these two
Icons.
giants
I know.
like in front of you and being like, oh, they're my peers. It's so bizarre.
I love this.
It's really
And how
bizarre.
about that night we all hung out? We all went to Rob's hotel. We brought Gabby Bice and we all just like went swimming under
after
the stars
yeah.
after David won.
After David won, that was a big
We had finished interviews,
night. That night blew my mind. When I watched you
was humming.
play that suitcase game, because I was like, he's gonna get 5.8 million or $75. And I'm like, David, take the deal,
David.
please. Do
But
it.
Yeah.
you were okay walking away with $75?
No.
I was like, you're playing like that.
Okay,
Um,
but
what?
back to getting woo. I knew where the money was. Like I just had this sense.
Yeah.
And every time I kind of would close my eyes and focus on which case I should open, they would light up in front of me. I was visualizing stuff before it was happening. It was bizarre.
Have you had any other encounters with your dad since then?
Not since then, no. But I had when he passed like 2 years ago now. He had a heart attack, and that was really, really tough time for me. And I really struggled through all that, trying to figure out, just a lot of unresolved stuff. He was great. Like he didn't pass with me going, oh, there was all this stuff I wanted to say to him, but like I just really missed him. Like, he was a great dad. So it was really tough for me I was just mourning him for so long.
Yeah.
And yeah, in that kind of moment, it just gave me this amazing like moment and closure and just feeling his presence and him being there and like delivering that for my
It felt
family
warm.
was-
It felt
was
really
huge.
warm. The whole, like, it just felt like this
We
warm
were
hug
all
in there.
in it together.
I know.
It was like a group collective experience. It felt like bigger than any church I've ever been to.
I know. That's what it,
It was
felt
a
like.
spiritual experience.
But are you going to do Survivor 50?
Survivor 50. I feel like after you've won Deal or No Deal, Survivor just becomes so irrelevant.
Is it like Pluto? Is it even a planet?
Like why? Why would you
don't
do
know.
that?
Yeah.
Like the last, I suffered on Survivor, man. Like I really, really suffered for what, like $500,000, which
Well,
is
because Australian Survivor is 50 days or something crazy.
50
Yeah, you said you
days.
almost died. What's that
Yeah.
story?
He had a spider bite.
I had 3 spider bites, one on my ass that turned into an abscess, which I nearly had to get surgery
Are you
on
missing a
everything.
chunk of your ass?
I'm missing a chunk of my ass.
What?
I got.
Can we see?
Yes, you can see. I tore my LCL, and I was on antibiotics I had 10 stitches in my leg on day 1, so I was on antibiotics for like 60 days straight.
Wow.
So my body was trash for 2 years after that. Now it was worth it, 100%.
Did you
but-
lose your hair?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dick stopped
Yeah,
working.
my hair fell out. But
It was like
I would
it was
What
a
did
lot.
you just say?
I said my dick stopped working.
Oh
It
my
was like-
God. When Derek looked up at me and smiled,
It's
I was like,
good
I missed
now.
something.
I saw him jump, and I'm like, did he say that, or is the accent?
happens. You're so
He started-
malnourished.
How did you get it working again?
Oh, just a lot of tugging on.
Oh God! Oh,
No.
can I ask you a
This is
personal?
a
Wait,
family show, David.
well, speaking of family, I do want to know because I'm being playful. I'm like, let me see your butt. But like, how is your wife? Like, she knows that you play these games. Like,
Yeah.
I do. I'm curious because my husband and I would have an agreement with him if I went on these shows to say, and same for him. I'd be like, do whatever you have to do, just don't fuck someone else. Like, basically, would be the rule.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And like again, it's like we look at it like it's an acting role. Like I'm
Right.
taking what are you gonna
exactly
get
what I
mad
did.
if it's like scripted in there? Like I did 20 years as a model where I was interacting with females, pretending to be in love with them.
Right.
Like having
She
to
gets
make
it.
out.
I
with
watched
them.
your seasons of Survivor, and
My
you get
seasons.
very cuddly with
Yeah.
the ladies.
Yeah, well, this was what I thought was so funny about how much flack we've been getting for like, oh, they're so close. Like,
Yeah.
I literally was like sleeping with someone for like almost 25, 30, 50
Well, you
days.
guys had separate beds here, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
get
You
it.
know, but you're
Oh, you
sleeping
mean on
them.
Survivor.
On Survivor.
And then you didn't get any pushback from
No, they were
Australian-
like, that's funny. but I don't know. It's
Well,
like-
in the U.S., we just have different
Well,
standards.
I
like
think
people
also
are.
you though. People are like, she's the Black Widow, and she's
People
doing
love
this.
to
People
hate
come
on the
after
Black
you.
Widow, but also it's like there's a certain archetype of female person in the world who just is vilified for being sexual, being outspoken,
Flirty.
being attractive, and being unapologetic and confident. People don't like that. Like they want to put me in my place.
They don't
and
like-
I think in
they don't like
Australia,
people having
don't they
fun.
have like tall poppy syndrome? I've heard this.
Oh,
saying.
What is that?
Yeah, they kind of have that as well, but it's more about if you see what they do with the poppy field, is they're all at the same level, and if one comes up, they chop it so that
Tall
everything
poppy
kinda
syndrome.
sinks.
This is the thing. I heard it a
We're
lot.
we're a socialist country, you know. There's a lot of good stuff that is in Australia where it's like universal healthcare,
Yeah.
education's a priority. All that stuff is
Beautiful.
free for you.
Hot people.
So it's
Yeah.
a great part. Hot people. It's a great part
Very
of society.
tan, good accents.
But they do, people get a little bit antsy if someone's doing much better than them, or they
They're
don't like
you're
to
too
acknowledge
big
it.
for your britches.
big
Can I
for
just go on
britches.
record? I think there's room for everybody at the top. I think you should be so comfortable and confident with who you are and what you do. Jealousy, I think, can be a sickness. I know you think it can steer you in the right direction. You posted that about
Carolyn.
Carolyn.
I
'cause
do
she
think,
admitted to it.
look, I think we shouldn't, as much as possible, we should accept ourselves. If we can fully accept ourselves and let jealousy be a thing that we have and let it be okay that we have it rather than judging it or making it bad
Okay.
or trying to project it
Fair.
onto the person that you're
Yeah.
jealous, like say I'm jealous of you, then I should investigate that and be like,
We are jealous of
why
you.
Let's
am I jealous of
investigate.
this hunky
Because
Australian
he made
rich
$5.8
boy?
million and you didn't.
Exactly, I know. He beat the banker.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, but I think you can't, if you investigate that and you look at it and you don't judge it as bad, then there's enough space to look at it and be like, okay, the thing that I'm jealous of is pointing me to what I want. So if you're saying,
Which is
if
using
you're
it for
jealous
good.
of me, then you probably want more confidence or the ability to stand up for
Yeah.
yourself or put yourself out in the world and be brave. Like,
Yeah.
go for it, try it. Instead of hating on me, go do something cool for yourself.
Right. And I just think like believe in who you are, find your specialty, and then be that. And I don't like to get weighed down by people that are trying to drag me down. I'm like, I don't like that at all. That feeling of being heavy. I'm a light. I want to be light. I want to be playful and I want to have fun. And then I'm also going to get my work done.
What are people jealous of you for?
I don't know. I actually
I
don't
know.
know. What?
Rob said he would have taken you out in
I
a
know.
game first thing. Rob was like, if you were on an island with me, I would vote you out immediately because you're so likable. Everybody wants to be around you. And when we were out on Deal or No Deal, Amy was like, there was a couple producers out there in the jungle. And she was like, okay, guys, we have a little extra time if you guys want to talk to me and some of these other producers. Like, we're here, we're hanging out. There was a line around the block to talk to
Talk
Amy.
to Amy, yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't know that people are jealous of that. I think they like I want everyone to feel comfortable coming to me because I can see all points of view. It's like I am very an open person and some people just aren't like that. And so I can read energy and as soon as I feel you giving a little bit of I'm like, all right.
Yeah, like all done.
You don't get my
You're good at that.
I don't want to be around
You're
it.
good at
though.
that.
It's because guess what? I'm a mama 3. I've got to, keep my husband happy. I got to do a lot of stuff all day, every day, and I don't need bad energy.
How are you keeping Nick happy these days?
Well, he likes
You need that
He's
energy.
got to open your legs.
Hello. I thought this was a
Sorry.
kids
It
podcast.
isn't kids. This is a family podcast.
But look, not to get too heavy
Yeah.
again, but I think there is a double standard with reality TV, especially for women, where it's like women can't be assertive and can't do the bad stuff, whereas like guys, it's a bit more acceptable. Like he's a bad boy, he can get away with that. Oh, it's so playful and fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but it's just like every time there's been a really gnarly move in Australian Survivor and it's done by a guy, everyone's like, yeah, but if it's a woman, they're like, what a bitch. So, and I
Yeah.
think that same thing exists here.
I
So
like
they
that you
see
can
kind of like a
recognize
sort of.
that. That's cool that you can recognize
Well, I
that.
got daughters, man. Like that
Right.
should be squashed immediately.
Yeah.
Like I think any really good devious gameplay should be rewarded. Like I love the villain, so I'm always want to see like
too.
crazy, like devious gameplay, and I just
too.
think sometimes people are a bit like, it's
So that's what I
soft.
wanted to ask too, because I watch Big Brother and I love the game players that will backstab, kill, do whatever
yeah.
they need to do to get to the top. I think that if I were in the jury, I would vote for them because their game was so good. Like that guy Russell you played with.
I should have won that
I know.
See, we just won.
I like that. I like a conniving player. You were good though. You definitely got
I
it.
hooked him and I had him under my spell the whole time.
I genuinely believe that people who don't play the game inside the box, which you don't clearly. I know that about you. That's a hard. But neither of you won, which is annoying.
I know.
So-
Well,
That was
people
very
were
annoying.
really mad at me for personal reasons. Like the girls wouldn't vote for me. Amanda, who I'd played with in lockstep, didn't vote for me.
I know.
They were mad. It's like I don't know. I can't say. I can't speak for them. Let's get Amanda on the podcast.
That's what people
We need
want.
Amanda on the podcast. We can't find her. We gotta hunt down Amanda and find
Oh.
her and bring her on.
She just
the
disappeared.
nice girls
David,
don't win
can we use some of your
pod.
money to track her down?
Yeah, we need a private
I mean, how
investigator
much
to
could
find
that
Amanda.
cost? Sure.
Let's bring her home.
Yay.
Bring our girl back.
Wait, what do you think of Chrissy Teigen as the banker?
Oh wow.
She was wild.
She was wild.
A bug flew up her dress at one
Yeah,
point. She was
yeah,
freaking out.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, it was really fun. I mean, I'm a huge fan of
Two
Chrissy,
models
so it was,
up there.
yeah, it was like when she was revealed. I was, oh, great. It was a nice surprise, but yeah, it was funny playing against her because I think
Right.
Chrissy's actually really nice. So it was hard for her to try and be like stern
I
and mean with
know.
me, you know?
Yeah,
She was
she
on the-
couldn't do it. I was like, embrace the role play, Chrissy.
No, she was on the ground the whole time.
I was like, let me give you some pointers. Let me give you a
I'm really
whip.
fine. Say some mean stuff. I like that.
Yeah,
I
be mean.
know.
But she's lovely. I mean, she's so gorgeous.
She gave you
Yeah.
extra. How much money? She gave you some extra money too.
Yeah, she threw an extra mil.
What they didn't show was you guys met on the dock.
Oh yeah. There was a whole doc meeting where I got to meet.
Oh, a
Yeah.
clandestine
like a
Special.
little
meeting.
clandestine meeting. But again, I think she just was like finding it so hard to be mean to me. I think that whole doc scene was her supposed to be like, "You suck, David," and me be like, "No, I don't. I'm the greatest." And she was just kind of like, "Oh, I can't say that to him."
She's so nice.
He seems really nice.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
You were sweet
She's
talking
sweet.
the banker.
Yeah, of course I was.
Never stops playing the game.
Who are you still friends with? Who do you talk to from Dondi?
Pav.
Yeah.
I speak with Dixon, MG a lot, Lachelle. I mean, I speak with most of the guys. I think
Joe.
they're-
Will, you're friends with Will.
Joe, I'm really good friends with Joe. Yeah, I'm friends with Will. I generally
You're friends with
have stayed
everybody.
friends with most people. You know, now everyone wants money from me, so I don't have to start cutting them off.
You're gonna be the Pied Piper. Everyone's gonna be just following you around
Are you
town
gonna invest
with your
in
coat.
money? I want to do an episode on money because I am so interested. When someone gets a big
Yeah,
lot of money,
that's a
what
lot.
should you do with
Well,
it?
well, this is for me. I'm never gonna have to work again if I don't want to. That's this freedom it gives
Yeah.
you that you can invest this and I can pull a salary out.
Yeah.
So, and in entertainment, you never get that. I've been doing
that's
television now,
cool.
Yeah.
a show every year. I'm having to do projects, having to win
Yeah.
them.
Wait.
And now I've got financial security.
Give
So
yourself a
did
salary.
you have what motivated you before this? Were you money motivated before?
Oh yeah, big time. And I've said yes to stuff that I didn't want to do because it was a paycheck. You know,
Okay, so
Right.
now
Whereas
you
now-
got so much money, it's coming out of your ears. What's
yeah.
gonna motivate you?
fun projects. I just want to have fun, and maybe I'll go back to acting, or I just whatever I want to do. And that's financial freedom, is being able to say no to the projects, or going to do a show and not having to win the money. That pressure. The second time I played Survivor, I really needed to win. I hadn't worked in a year. I was I had a mortgage, I had kids. I was
Right.
if I don't win this $500,000, I'm in trouble.
Stakes were high.
And the stakes were high, and I was in that zone. but,
David, you're an adrenaline junkie. You can't be coasting through your life having so much money. You're cool. You're gonna have to do something.
yeah, but that's
To
what I
create
just wanna-
tension in your life. What are you
I
gonna
don't
do?
know. I mean, I like making stuff. I like being creative. I like
Yeah.
making shows. I make some of my own shows and stuff, and hopefully some of that gets up, and we'll just kind of see.
Yeah.
I
See
was
what happens.
asking Parv, I was like, David's so good on Instagram and things. Would he ever want to run our social media?
Oh,
We're-
yeah,
you're
sure.
hired.
On social media.
We can't
Do you
pay
I actually
you.
feel like I'm really bad on social media, but yeah, sure.
You'll be working closely with Derek, and it's a prize in itself.
Yes.
One great thing about this is I feel like NBC's been doing all the content for me, so I just hit the
Share.
collab button and I'm out. I don't have to worry about
No,
it.
but you make funny stuff with
Yeah, you're good. Oh, your
movie
braids.
posters.
Oh, jeez, yeah, the braids.
That
Yeah.
was fun. I was like, wait, what? I'm watching in the control room. I'm like, why is Lachelle braiding his hair?
Oh my god, the cornrows.
One of the
night.
things that one of my kind of Survivor philosophies, I guess, is a lot of bonding can happen through physical contact, right? So whether that's a hug or doing a service for someone, And for a lot of people, like that is quite intimate doing someone's
Yeah, you
hair.
have to be there for
Yeah.
So as a
hours.
guy with long hair, like getting someone to braid or like do your hair, there's like a good little bonding
Oh, you got
experience.
a lot of tricks up your
Oh, I
sleeve.
got
Yeah,
a
you,
lot.
Lachelle,
So-
and MG are all close. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
and
you
so
were
that
roommates.
was something with Lachelle. I knew she would have had that experience. Obviously, she's got sons. She was going to be braiding their hair since they were like babies, and she was like, I was like, dude, it'd be really cool like to have braids. She was
Yeah.
like, I would love to do that for
I
you. And
got
Lachelle was
you.
like so lovely. and sweet.
That's why I had to put Lachelle up because I had no relationship with her. And I was like, she loves David so much. I got to keep CK in the game. I gotta get rid of Lachelle.
Yeah,
It's
that was a
CK.
tricky one. Well, because kind of Lachelle was like, I guess CK for me. Because I like Pav didn't really have a
Yeah.
relationship, but I was like, no, Lachelle's my girl. Like I
Yeah.
want to keep her in. And Pav was like, okay, you can play
Sorry,
the banker.
buddy.
Okay, watching the show back, what is your favorite moment that has made air? Because there are so many good ones that, like, when we were out there, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Seychelle made CK get on her knees.
Oh my
Like,
God.
that was
And also, I
ruthless.
will say a lot of people
love
I
that.
think will watch that your game-winning temple and the amount of money that you won, and maybe they hadn't watched the season, but they're going to hear about this and go back and now watch
watched
the
it,
whole
yeah.
season.
I mean, obviously, Final Temple is my favorite, but I really loved MG explaining Survivor to me.
I
That was
know.
cute.
Like I just, and I have
You're like,
I
"Oh."
have quite a few of those. I've actually got some clips of me doing that to a bunch of other people on the show as well,
Yeah.
which are the guys have clipped for me. So I'll put those out, which has been
Cute.
pretty funny. I was talking to Philip at one point, and he was like, "If I find out that you won Australian
Yeah.
Survivor, I'm going to be so mad at you." And I was like, "Oh, as if I'd win Australian Survivor. But if I did, and there was like some kind of popcorn reward, I'd like put my face in the popcorn because this is one big scene from Australian Survivor I had where I was like eating popcorn. So I was fully just like really
You
like."
had so much fun with that fire. You
I
were
was-
playing in it.
oh my gosh, I couldn't help myself. So
How
that,
much
I
money
loved
are you
it.
going to give me for keeping your secret?
Yeah.
That's what I really want to know.
How
much-
What's it
how much do
worth?
you
I should have
need?
made that deal before we left the island.
Yeah. Okay, what was your favorite thing that you watched? Dr.
I have a
Will?
lot of favorite things that did not make the air.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like so much. So many. My sit down conversation with Dr. Will
Oh, yeah.
on the couch where I was like, I hate arrogant, entitled men, and you are that. And how are we going to work together? Like, are you a real person? It was such a good
Straight up.
conversation for me because I was like, I don't usually get the opportunity
Right.
to have this kind of direct face-to-face moment where I get to
Good.
tell someone
Therapeutic.
how I feel about them.
Yeah.
And it's not nice, but it's honest. And I was like, this is going to really clear the air. And it actually really did.
Well,
Like,
you
after
weren't
that,
even,
he
I
related
was
to
like,
me differently.
you have to talk to Will.
I had
Like,
to.
because it was he was like really ramping up to, like you could feel that pressure of he was trying to get us.
Yes. And
it
I
was
was
just going
like,
bigger
I
and
will
bigger, and I was like-
never speak to him. And David's like, soften your heart to Will. And I was like, fine.
You guys needed each other out
Just a
there.
little-
We
oh
did.
my gosh.
He,
Like,
he
I-
helped me a lot.
oh my God. I couldn't have done anything without Pav. Like I nearly had mental breakdowns 10 times. And she was always just there to be like, hey, no,
She's a good
stay,
rock.
keep your head
Yeah.
in the game. Like you're good. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Just da 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 da. And it was like,
It's
like
hard
I don't
mentally.
I don't win if it's not for her.
Wow.
Yes. Thank
Aw,
you.
that's
Credit
really
where
sweet.
credit is.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, it was. She's the greatest. So it was just really fun to play with someone that is so good at the game.
Yeah.
Like I felt dwarfed a little bit sometimes because I'm consider myself good. Like I know I'm good.
Yeah.
And then she's in there and I'm like, oh.
That's in the challenges
How
where my
fun.
brain is doing the beautiful mind. It's like beep bop boom compute.
Oh,
It's like a
yeah.
bucket list, right? To be able to play in a
Yeah.
game with such an icon. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure same for you.
Yeah.
Same for me with David.
With David, no.
I loved working with David because I just knew you could strategize with me. And he helped me in those moments because I can get really stubborn and kind of like hard-headed where if somebody burns me, I'm like, I will burn their whole city down to the ground, to ashes, and I'll kill their whole family. That's how I felt with Will. And David was like really helpful there. And with Philip, there were some moments where I was like, I felt on my back foot and pretty vulnerable. Like I was like, did I do something wrong with Philip? And Dave was like, no, it's okay. It's fine. He's being sensitive.
It's nice to have a soundboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
not to get
helpful.
too gushy on her for a second, but Pav also has this thing where she has such big balls when she plays, where
I
she
know.
just will like, because I kind of like to.
I just imagined her with big
Big,
balls walking
really?
around
balls.
big old balls, big old balls.
underneath her cute bikini.
Yeah, just they're tucked back though. And
So I'm going to be a guest on Drag Race. Calling it out.
That's actually a really great idea.
Oh, my big balls.
but I like to kind of be a
balls
little.
party.
Well, I like to be back a little bit and wait for somebody else to speak, especially if there's in scenarios where you don't want to take the lead too much. I just like to sit and see where things. And she'll be like, "No, Philip, you're going next," and I'm like,
Oh, down the
"All
mountain.
right, that's."
Take a long walk down
That's
the mountain,
great.
Philip.
I'd be like, "Whoa, okay, that's how it's done."
Decisive.
Yeah, she's really decisive,
Uh-huh.
and so I love that. It was really fun to play with that.
Yeah. No, I know it's.
It's probably harder for you to get away with that being with the physique that you have. Like being a big, strong man who already looks like an alpha. I don't think you can also be a boss. Like you have to
Yeah.
probably sit back a little bit. And that's part of your charm. That's why people
Yeah.
were obsessed
I
with
know.
you. Everyone wanted to work with you.
Because you
Like,
you have
David's
all
my favorite.
facets. You're like sensitive. You're funny. You're sweet. You're bold. You're ridiculous.
Kind,
You know,
you're
there's so many
stupid.
fun.
You were so dumb in those challenges, though. Like, let's be real.
We did an interview that never made it. It was so funny. This was, I think, after the challenge where it was the sandcastles, where you had to kick the sandcastles down.
Yeah.
And
You ran the wrong way. You did that not on purpose. You really did that because you were a dum-dum.
So a big part of my game is actually pretending to be as dumb as possible. But yeah, that was actually a genuine dumb moment. Okay, so that's a good one. So I got out of that sandcastle thing fast. I was like, all right, I'm gonna win this one. Like this one I'm getting, and I'm sprinting as hard as I can for the highest sandcastle. And then when I get to the final path, there was a thing saying no entry that was kind of blocking people off from going into the hedge maze.
you went that way.
And so I'm like, I
That's
can't.
the right way.
I guess I got to stop. Like that must be the highest sandcastle. So
Right.
then I went back and I started smashing on that thing, and the lady just runs past me, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Why didn't you leave then at
But it
that
worked
moment
for
and chase
you.
past Letty?
Oh, because she just had a head start, and I was already knee deep in like digging out that case. So it was kind of like, and Storm
You
was
didn't
there.
know. But your case was low. It was actually pretty low.
I'm not saying I don't play clean. Like my game is usually messy. I'm just very good at picking up the pieces.
yeah.
And that's where I'm good in Survivor too. Like I really don't care about how anything plays out. The challenges, it's great. I win great. If not, I really excel at just picking up the pieces
Cool.
and making sure I'm not the one that goes home.
I
That's
learned
cool.
that day one when you decided to go for the red cases. I was like, this guy's insane. I was like, oh no, I thought we could work together, but he's a nut job.
But like there was no way Luke was sending me home. Like Luke would not have sent me
know.
home.
But
if
you
he
didn't
wanted.
know that before
I
you did
knew.
that challenge.
Oh no! Before
you
did
met
that
him
challenge.
on. You didn't even meet him.
that's,
I
like,
was hanging out
we're
with
there
Luke
to
on
make
the boat.
television, you know. So if no one is like, I'm going to be the person that does that, and then I like TV moments. I see them. I'm like, oh, a red case. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not-
you did well
Like, I
there,
gotta
but I
grab
was
that
like,
one.
oh my god,
That
this
was
guy's.
actually
I was
funny.
like, he's insane.
The edit was hilarious.
Yeah, but the art, and like that got all messed up too. It was messy. But the art of the game is being able to pick up the pieces and know that Luke wasn't sending me home if he won, which he
Yeah.
wouldn't. He
I
said
make
it.
the
But-
biggest messes. I make some messy messes. But you got to be able to clean them up and also
It's the
laugh at
cleanup.
yourself.
Yeah. Because you can, especially with a game like Deal, where it's like, it's so much, it could go either way. There could be another thing that changes. There's a lot of luck involved in some of those things. Oh, this case is safe. That case is not safe. You have to be able to, it's picking up the pieces that's
Yeah.
important, not
And
winning
Thinking
the,
ahead a little.
Yeah.
unless you want to win 9 in a row. Safety 9 in a row is pretty good
I
too.
want to know.
That's what I was going for.
I want to know your guys' relationship with Dr. Will, because on camera we saw what we saw, but how do you guys feel about him now?
You want to start?
And also your thoughts on him before working with him, like knowing who this guy was, because I'm a big Brother fan, and I was like, oh, that's cool. He's out of retirement.
No, I know. Well, I've talked about him already so much on this podcast and in other interviews, and people know how I felt about him in the game. I did not like him in the game, but outside the game, he's fine. I mean, he's been the one who keeps bringing the cast together. He likes to stay in touch with everyone. He loves to host people at his house and has parties. He's very generous.
Outside of the game, I love him.
Yeah.
Inside the game, I could not stand him.
I know.
And it was like some next level. And like, look, I make these shows wanting to make good TV. So I see someone like Will come in and I'm like, I know why he's here.
Yeah.
Like I know why he's here. And I
Right.
could not get my head around having to work with him.
Yeah.
Because he plays like a terrorist.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't leave space for you on the show. And like,
Yeah.
you need to leave space. Like that's why we work so good together.
Right.
Because like Pav will do her thing, but she leaves space for me to also play and be a part of a
I
plan
love
or a character.
team.
Yeah.
A team. You have to give people space. You can't just run it.
No.
Yeah.
And Will has no space for anyone else.
I know.
And that's what it really felt like.
Nanny,
So
we had to fire him. We brought him. We hired the nanny, brought him on to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Give us some time to hang out alone on the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah.
And then he just caused a ruckus.
But
the kids
look,
hated him. It was a
and-
mutiny.
to his credit, watching it back, he's fantastic.
I know.
And like, but he doesn't play within the confines of the game.
yeah.
You know, like if I'm in the game and I kind of respect what Joe's doing, I give Joe space to be like, hey guys, here's my thing. I need to talk about this. You're going to open the case. Da, 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 da. Whereas Will wouldn't hesitate to be like, oh, shut the hell up, Joe.
Yeah.
Like, and for me, that doesn't play. Like I kind of am like, oh, like you have to give people space to.
But he's not like that outside of the
No,
show.
he's the nicest guy. And I remember inside the show, one of the things he would do would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you guys to the Lakers, and you can stay at my house at MG. I'm gonna move you to LA. You're gonna have a great career out here." And
Yeah.
I remember like, okay, whatever.
I was like,
And
do
he
not
made it.
worry.
And he
As
actually
if-
did all of that.
I
he
got
actually
so
does it.
sick over like before the Christmas holidays, and Dr. Will called in a prescription for me. He was
He's
like,
great.
some
I
kind
mean,
of
really,
flu
outside the
prescription.
game, I really,
Yeah,
really
he's
like
really
him.
nice.
I think he's a super nice guy, and I think he makes great TV.
Yeah.
But we weren't going to work together on the show.
So, are you going to be partying with Will to celebrate? What's next on your victory
Botox
tour?
for everyone, baby.
Oh yeah, Amy's boob job and Botox.
We'll talk about that once it happens.
Okay, yeah, but are you doing a victory tour? What's your plan?
Yeah, maybe I should. I don't know. I definitely, I want to do a couple nice things.
Well,
with
we had the
people.
big
Have some
party last
parties?
night.
I know, but like, what? We're gonna have a tour. When I say
We're
a
gonna do
victory,
a victory
tour, it's
tour.
like you broke Deal or No Deal Island. I don't know if the show will
Should-
come
yeah,
back
should I go on
after
a
this.
speaking
tour?
We don't know if the show's gonna come back because you took all their money.
What's the point? No, but
Don't
like,
waste your money.
well, this is that being said, there is still space for someone to win more money. Then
You
know what I
think?
mean?
I don't know if anyone can do
it's
what you
gonna
did.
it's gonna be hard, but it's still
It was
you know,
a
still
miracle
there.
watching that.
Nobody's won the full top prize yet, so
Oh my
yeah, that's
God.
true.
maybe it could be you.
It could have been you. It could have been you because at
Could have
the
been.
very end they didn't air this, but Joe was like, "Let's just play out the whole game and just see what would have happened." David, what would you have done?
I would have picked case 7.
So
I
you
would have swapped my cases and opened case 7.
Which had the.
Had the 12.2 in it,
I mean,
and we actually did it. We played it out on.
so you did actually
full
win the
game.
highest case
I did win the highest case, but in a way, it was good that I didn't win the highest case because then I definitely never.
because
got
then
to
you
win.
would be wearing a
You
full
wouldn't be sitting here
14
with
karat
us.
gold suit.
Yeah.
He's like.
So like, I'm jumping out of an airplane in my 14 karat gold squirrel suit.
Can I dye my skin gold? You
I'm a
know?
golden god.
Yeah. Like fully do the thing.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. This is a big deal for us.
What a treat.
I love you. I know you. We
Oh, I
all
love
love
you
each
guys
other.
too,
It's
yeah.
it is a family. Like we're so, like I'm part of your family now.
Yes,
But
you are.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like when you are out there, like we just make these connections because we have done crazy stuff together out there. And so,
And when you click with someone, you click. I
Yeah.
don't keep everyone in my life either from these shows, but
No.
yeah.
I
we'll be
guess
friends
that is
forever.
an underrated relationship that people don't really talk about that much, but it is a talent producer relationship that can get the best out of you in your interviews. And I felt like for
aw.
That was you.
How
That's
about-
why the line around the
Yeah.
block.
No.
Yeah.
There's not
But
even
how
blocks
about
in the
we
jungle.
all jumped in the ocean on the last day together? That was really
oh
fun.
my gosh, that was the best.
Yeah, I needed that. I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And it was just so nice to jump in the ocean.
Maybe Chrissy Teigen will let us take a ride on her yacht and we could do it again.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
do that.
Okay, good.
All right. Thanks, David.
Thank you,
Thanks,
David.
guys.
Well,
Congrats.
what a fun episode.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you like this episode, subscribe, share it with your friends. Get some pointers from David. He can teach you how to win millions and millions of dollars. How can they find you?
Yeah.
Well, just my name. David Genat, Genat is my last name. It's Instagram. But don't message asking for money because
Don't give out your Venmo
Yeah. Okay. And what's your social? Just kidding.
and your address.
hey, it is really weird. Like the people know that I've got this much money. You know, like usually people make a lot of money. It's a little bit low key. but
Right.
yeah, it's
This is
tripping me
kind
out.
of like the curse of the lottery winners.
Yeah.
You know what you need to do is you need to, like you said, give yourself a salary, put that money somewhere.
trust.
Yeah, in a trust or whatever.
I want a pony.
let's just-
Will you buy me a pony?
Yes, I will. Let's just blow a bunch of it.
Yay.
Aw. Okay. Thanks everybody, and
Bye
we'll see-
again.
Yeah. Find us on Instagram. Love you.